Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dream Career Talk Show. On this show, we bring industry experts from various domains to share their knowledge, their experience, their challenges, their failures, and success so that it can inspire others to build their dream careers. On this episode, we have an amazing guest with us to discuss on the topic creating marketing content. Amit Kapoor is on a mission to facilitate the Indian education and MSME sector to transform lives of 50 million plus students and MSMEs in the next 35 years and generate employment, entrepreneurship, and business opportunities. This, he believes, will help awaken the Sone ki Chidiya, that is Bharat. He envisions an India where MSMEs can overcome digital transformation challenges and achieve business growth through organic marketing and proper use of communication, content, and social media marketing. He comes with immense experience and knowledge in this particular field. He recently also gave a keynote speech covering the same topic at the nationwide awards for 80 plus MSME awardees. Amit, have been watching your journey and have known you for some time now, but I think the kind of knowledge and the experience you have in this particular field is immense. So it is a great pleasure and an honor to have you on Dream Career Talk Show. Welcome.
Thank you, Feather. The honor definitely is mine, actually. Thank you for mentoring me on a special journey that we are all on together, and I'm sure that together we can achieve our missions and our purpose in life. And yeah, thanks for having me on this fantastic show of yours.
Thank you. And I know you have been on big platforms there, recognized for the work you have done. And the mission that you have, especially the Sone ki Chidiya ko jagao, right? Whatever you are doing, I think is very inspiring out there. So let's start with how did you get into this particular journey, right? Where you started with content marketing and how did this journey begin for you?
Okay, so I'll go a few decades back. So to put things in perspective, uh, I come from a background where my grandfather used to teach English to Britishers, if that
Wow.
says something. So coming from that, and then I come from a family where my mother is a teacher, in English teacher, and she teaches history and some other subjects also. I have known a lot of aunts, a lot of sisters, cousins who are also in the teaching domain. So there was a lot of teaching atmosphere and environment around my place. So definitely it led me to read a lot. Even as a kid, I was a voracious reader. We all started with our Amar Chitra Kathas in that era.
Right.
uh, I did my BCom, and I guess I was one of the very few, or maybe the only student in Lucknow University to move from BCom to MA English, as a future course of study. And I'm talking the period of 93 to 98, wherein along with my BCom I did AppTech, 2 years C++, Oracle, and all those things, just to get on the what was trending in that era. So that was like programming, and a lot of AppTech and NIITs were happening. However, when I did MA English, I was already into the zone of writing poetry, and inspired by the great thought leaders and writers. And eventually I ended up doing 6 months course in graphic designing as well. So all
Mhm.
this is a story from Lucknow. So Lucknow is a great city, a lot of cultural heritage, a lot of knowledge that is there. But sadly, in terms of IT, at least in those days, we did not have too many companies. So after doing my MA English, I was like wondering like what next for me. And I got an opportunity in an organization at Lucknow, IT organization, wherein they onboarded me as a graphics designer to start with. Uh, I did some graphic designing for them for almost a month, and when the CEO asked me, like, would I be interested in writing about their products and services, I said, okay, I can give it a shot. I mean, I just completed my MA English. Well, yeah, that is the reason I'm asking you to. So I said, okay, fine. Next 15, 20 days, I wrote some content, and he was very happy. And okay, this is good stuff. So I asked him, like, is there, some future scope of, growth in this industry or something like that? So then he, introduced the world of technical writers to me. So that was around 2000, and I continued for almost a period of 6 months, and in which I also did, I joined another school branch. It was a huge city Montessori school, and it had 16,000 students across 24 branches in the same city. So it had a Limca book of records and all that. So I joined there as an assistant editor to collate all the reports, to work on the content that was being shared by the teachers, by the students, and all that. It was good exposure to me. I learned a lot of hard work and all those, because it was a night shift job I was doing there. So would say, like, today wherever I am, like, all this focus on hard work, focus on sincerity, focus on being consistent in whatever I am doing, uh, is kind of helping me still. So around 6 months later, I started looking out, and Hyderabad gave me the first opportunity in terms of my IT industry. And I have been at Hyderabad. I always call it my Karm Bhumi. Last 22 years, I've been here only. And multiple organizations like Computer Associates, Pramati Technologies, I work with semiconductor industry, and then so I was, for almost the first 14 and a half to 15 years, I was into pure technical writing. Technical writing means, like, a lot of people still get confused. It kind of involves writing a lot of the user guides, the reference manuals, the installation guides, and in addition to that, the case studies and white paper. So I set up teams, I set up processes that continue to support at all these organizations. uh, in 2014 mid, I tried to go solo. I was like, 15 years, let me try to do something. I joined a friend of mine who was into the education sector. Actually, he needed some help with the website content and brochures and all those things. So I was there with him for almost a year. And well, naturally, going solo is never too easy when you have families and all that. And
Right.
so I got an opportunity where I'm at the organization where I'm currently working, in terms of heading the social media and content marketing for the organization. And so from there, it was like a total 360-degree kind of a flip in the kind of content that I was creating and the kind of content that I was reading, right? Because now it was the pure content marketing zone that I had moved into. So what it actually meant was, like, the website, the case studies, the white papers, the ebooks, and then the support required for the events, like webinars and podcasts and all those things. So that gave me a totally different exposure. Now, in the meanwhile, there were a few friends of mine in Hyderabad who had started off on their own, and they needed support in terms of content. So on and off, I provided all the support required, and I think they have been happy with all the gyan that I gave. And yeah, I think that is the kind of overall content marketing and social media journey as of now. And yeah, the details maybe we'll discuss more.
Yeah, that's a good journey, and I think the immense experience that you have is amazing. Starting from technical writing, I think it's always been in the creative field, be it technical writing, be it today content writing, and all of it.
Right.
So when we talk about this creative fields like this, when you have to do more of writing and all, right?
Hmm.
Does somebody have to be creative from the beginning, or can somebody pick up the skill? How can they
Hmm.
enter into content marketing and still flourish if they feel that they are not creative? Because a lot of people feel Yeah, I'm not creative enough. I don't think so. This is for me.
Mm.
So, how do
Mm.
you see this one?
Okay, so definitely, if somebody is already creative and somebody has a passion for writing, uh, there are definitely multiple doors open. Like as long as they themselves are continuously writing about identifying a niche, sticking to it, and then writing about it on a regular basis on personal blog sites, maybe on WordPress or or even LinkedIn or other platforms. So once they are in a position and they are in a zone where they want to join some organizations, they can reach out to the respective HRs and showcase their blogs and all, which definitely adds as a leverage point. There is another category where people think that they are creative but they never end up writing blogs. So for them, it kind of becomes a bit difficult. But then most of the organizations, like for myself, like for my own team, whenever I am hiring, whenever I'm interviewing such candidates, I always give them specific areas to write in a blog, or a small article on a topic, or some sample social media posts around a particular event. And once they have shared those, the proper review is done, and if it is good, then so what happens is some people think that they are good at writing blogs, but actually they might be better at writing white papers. Some people think they write white papers better, but they are actually better at writing social media posts. So it is based on the content that they share in terms of their assessments. It is like kind of on me to identify and help them move in the right direction rather than. But overall, when once somebody joins any organization, they will realize that eventually they will end up doing all sorts of writing. So it can't be that I'll just write blogs or I'll just write case studies or white papers. So it has to be a mix of all forms of writing, whether it is long form, whether it is short form. So and then sadly there is a category that feels that they are great writers, but when we interview them, when we see their write-ups, they're just not there. And it kind of hurts that why are they actually in that, trying to enter in that field. When so I actually have interviewed a few such candidates, but then I kind of asked them and suggested them that instead of writing, what you can do is get into these some parallel streams that are more aligned to their skill sets. Because otherwise, not only will create they can end up creating issues in the organizations that they join, but it will hamper their own growth also.
Right.
So I think a lot of such candidates need hand-holding and guidance, to be successful in their lives. So I hope I have been able to help a few.
Great. That is nice to know. And when it comes to content marketing, a lot of people get confused with digital marketing, right? A lot of people
Mm,
now they have digital marketing itself is huge, right? And some people consider Facebook or LinkedIn ads or anything that is running with ads
correct.
is digital marketing. This is content marketing.
Mm,
How do you
mm.
differentiate it? Are they two different things? Are they coming under one umbrella? How do you look at content marketing?
Okay. So when we talk about content marketing, or say digital marketing, and then there are different areas such as, you can say, account-based marketing, then there is go-to marketing, right? All of these areas are multiple, if I can say, the tires of a huge vehicle, which is the organization, right? Now, content in itself, I'll remove the word marketing for now. The content that is being churned out by the content writers team, whether it is like in-house or given out to external agencies, that content serves as the base on which the account-based marketing works, or the digital marketing works, or the go-to marketing works. Because uh, let us say if there is a no team there is no team that is creating white papers, case studies, or blogs, right? Digital marketing can't work without content. What will they
Right.
promote in their campaigns? So they
Absolutely.
might create a landing page, but that page has to have content. That page has to have assets and collaterals that they are actually creating the campaign for to generate the leads, right? If we are trying to reach out to new prospects, or if we are trying to engage with existing clients, we need to have content and collateral that showcases our strengths in particular services, and what we can offer to those clients, right? So similarly, if we are planning to go to market with a new offering, if we are launching a new service or a product, unless we showcase and promote on social media that we have the capabilities required and these are the things that we can do for you, then the launch will actually end up being a failure. It will just be a dud. So content marketing thus is definitely creating content that is aligned to the vision and mission of the organization. It takes care of the kind of language that is required, that okay. So then the audience can be different, different for them. So
Right.
we can be targeting the C suite, we can be targeting the mid level managers, we can be targeting the just the startups. So depending on the audience and buyers persona that we have, we need to create content. We know that okay, if it is a C suite, maybe we can read more of the analyst reports or what the Foresters and Gartners and Forbes of the world are talking about. Then once we read, consume, and use similar language, tonality, and flow of content, then we can reach out if our audience is the C suite. However, if it is the regular the mid level managers, maybe we can avoid using such jargonized or such good flow. We can still do with the regular way of writing, that we keep reading the trends and all the other things on so many different platforms. So if that is aligned, and then we start to promote these written white papers and blogs, etc., on the social media like LinkedIn, or create videos for YouTube and Insta, or go ahead on the regular short bursts of tweets and all those things, everything will fall in place eventually. One challenge that is there is that a lot of organizations feel that, oh, I wrote a blog, I wrote a white paper, I should immediately generate leads, or I should
Mhm.
immediately start getting followers. That doesn't happen. You have to consistently keep churning out. It is not that you created one white paper or a case study, published, and forgot about it for 3 months. No, you have to keep writing content. So if that is not done, your visibility will not be there. So in fact, like as part of my sessions, just today morning itself, I was giving another keynote speech on the importance of being visible on social media at Vyapar Jagat. And that is the same thing that I discussed there also, that content creation, then the dissemination on the social media platforms, and then reusing that content on the other platforms also. So all that eventually will lead to making the digital marketing efforts successful, or the ABM initiative successful, or the GTM initiative successful. So it's all a complete package, for which the base basically is content. So that's what it
Amazing.
is.
Yeah, I think you simplified it, and what you have given in a nutshell, and the message you gave, I loved it. Where you mentioned about, first of all, getting that customer avatar or the persona, right, and then creating content as per that. Whether it's for C-suite, it's for matlab, is it for mid careers, is it for somebody else? Like based on that, you creating that content and redistributing that content on different platforms. I think this is a great tip which people can follow, right, and
Right.
help themselves. Now when it comes to content marketing, we know few of the fields, like resume writing was also something that people used to prefer, and then they used to go,
Mm,
right. But today with LinkedIn coming up, a lot of people are now able to create profiles on LinkedIn, right. So some
mm,
of these fields slowly are not getting that kind of attraction. So how do you look at
mm,
content marketing from the future point of view? Somebody has to build a career there, right? Is it
mm.
growing, or is it going to have a place where they get automated, and how do you look at it?
Okay. So I'll go step. In fact, I'll take a leap actually, not just a step. So while you mention LinkedIn, the one thing that has already started scaring a few content writers is the Chat GPT that has come into play.
Right. Yeah.
Now, what they are saying is that you just throw an idea at it and it like rebounds with a ton of content for you. Uh,
Right.
what I say is that yes, it is like a kind of an aggregator, if I can use that word, right? Which throws a lot of good content immediately. Perfect. But as a content creator, we are the people who have to give that idea. And
Right.
unless we give that idea, ChatGPT won't work, right? If I
That's right.
want to create a content that is, say, on fintech or that is on, anything like for MSMEs, maybe, some website content needs to be created. Unless we pitch in or fill, the space with like what exactly do we need from ChatGPT, uh, at least as of now, it will still not be able to identify what we need,
Right.
right? It may be a bit scattered somewhere. So the thought that we are still as content creators required to provide, the catchphrases, the keywords required, if I can add like, for SEO also. So only then chat GPT can work, otherwise it will be a failure. So till
Right.
that time, I think our jobs are pretty much safe, very much safe, because we are creators. We are, we give value to what is really required. We think and we write.
Exactly.
Second thing is that even if ChatGPT throws a lot of content that is being pulled from multiple places, so that may still have some aspects of plagiarism. Maybe, I don't know. I still have not used ChatGPT that much, so I'll take a disclaimer here. Uh, but then. That content would have been used somewhere, and slowly, and Google itself, I think, and I think one of the articles I was reading, it is not going to give that much value to content being generated out of AI.
Hmm.
So your ranking of a web page will still be dependent on the content that you are creating by yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't think, I mean, forget GPT, chat GPT is like, quite a few years, always that whole question was that, hey, robots will take away our jobs. Robots
Right.
can't take away our jobs. Robots need humans to tell them what to do eventually.
Exactly.
Huh. Eventually they will grow. And yes, AI is, I think, even if I'm not wrong, Elon Musk also has declared that AI might be very dangerous. So it
Yeah.
is up to us how we are using it.
That's
So
right. That's right. And as you said, I think that's very important for people to understand that input is given by the user. Input is a content creator giving that
right.
right ideas. ChatGPT can generate, and ChatGPT again, when it is an AI, artificial intelligence, it is learning from human beings, right?
Yes,
And
exactly.
as you rightly mentioned as well, one very important part also people need to understand is the human element, the human touch. When it comes in
Exactly.
content, Google will promote that, people will promote that, because people love emotions, people love to hear from the stories, as you have mentioned even in your book, right? MSME is your story. So I think stories are what people love, and the human touch, I think those are things which are important, which makes this career like will continue and then will grow in terms of whatever we are doing today as content creators and for content marketers as well, right?
Right.
Now there are a lot of MSMEs, Amit, whom you might have also met, because you actually interact with them in multiple seminars, workshops and all, who are still not on the content, right? They are still going the traditional way, right? So what is
Mm.
the path for them if they have to like get onboarded? I know they can't do it all at once, right? But how do they get into a step by step process so that they can actually get onboarded and also get some growth from whatever the content and social media?
Okay. So at least when I started my journey as a writer technical writer or content writer. Uh, it was a feeling, it was a very common feeling among all writers that we were not given due importance in a lot of the organizations. We were like the last people to, you know, get to know that content needs to be created for a specific, area. And the common joke is that, what is the due date? It was usually day before yesterday. So, so uh, I'm very, happy to note that a lot of organizations have today, come to understand and recognize the importance of creation of content. Now that is like, the bigger organizations. Um, for the MSMEs also, if I say, uh, there are a lot of, big organizations that are playing, in Shark Tanks and all those. But for the smaller ones, I would say they need to understand that creation of content is very important, whether they do it themselves, whether they hire an in-house team, whether they outsource, or or reach out to some experts. They still need somebody to help them create content on a regular basis. Now, and I mean, as I have been saying in a lot of my sessions, is that if you are not visible online, you don't exist, simply put. Now, going online doesn't mean that okay, you just put up a video of going to Goa or putting up some party pics or those things. That won't help your organization. First thing is you need to identify your niche and micro niche, as we have discussed among ourselves also. Once that niche is identified, once the audience is identified, we need to start creating content on a regular basis. We need to start promoting that content on a regular basis, whichever medium you are comfortable. If you're not camera shy, go ahead, by all means, put up a video and share it on Instas, Facebook of the world, and YouTubes. But if for any reason you feel that no, you are not ready to face the camera yet, you can create posts that have banners, that have the right text, that have the right keywords, and start promoting it. Some MSMEs make the mistake of going overboard and adding, like, say, 25 hashtags on a LinkedIn post. That doesn't work. For LinkedIn, for a social post to work, I mean, you should have at least three solid hashtags. More than that, it won't work. Go up to 5, but not beyond that. But if you are focusing on Instagram, okay, you can have up to 30 solid. But then you have to identify which hashtag will work for your domain. And maybe what you can use is some tools like, say, hashtag if I me, that can help you. Then you don't stop after one day. You have to keep talking. I mean, unless you just have one service, maybe you can choose not to talk about the same thing every day. But then at least give an option of, like, say, alternate days or something like that. Write blogs. You have to write small blogs. I mean, not blogs. Some people think, oh, I need to write 1200 words blogs. Okay, 1200 words, good. But then if you don't have too much to talk about, create 500 word blogs. That is also fine. But then create and then promote it. Because if that is not done, it will not work out. Most MSMEs do not have a proper website, Fatah. I think that is one of the things that they need to start with. The proper landing pages, proper pages that have the right keywords if they really want to rank on Google. Some of them have websites, but the content, the flow, the colors being used, the images being used, it is all a mashup. It is a lot of hodgepodge is there. So they really need to discuss. They need to identify who can help them for creating that content, that flow, and all that. And only after that, they can start getting some more visibility, some more traction and visitors and traffic on their website. Now, once you start getting it, then additionally, if your website had a blog that was written and published 6 months ago, your traffic will again stop. So for you to have daily traffic that keeps growing on your website, you need to keep churning out regular content, that and eventually keep churning your pages on the website also. Otherwise, the same thing will happen, that that is as good as not creating any content at all. So yeah, you need to have a good graphics designer, you need to have videos are like the in demand content type. So
Right.
you may not go ahead and just create a video that has like fantastic, all jazzed up, okay, I mean that will help maybe. But uh, you know mm, having one video that talks, when you as a CEO of an organization, as an MSME, go ahead and create one short 30-second that, hey, I am here to provide, and this is my vision and mission of my organization, these are the services I plan to offer. That is fine enough. The jazz up may happen later, but if you don't do this 30 seconds video introducing you and your organization, it will not work out. You will keep waiting. Even, okay, for that matter, maybe in fact a lot of funding that happens, it happens to for people, for organizations wherein they have some visibility. The social visibility is important for the investors to have that trust that, okay, this company is serious about what it is doing. Otherwise, it will not eventually grow in the manner that you would want to grow. So
Right.
yeah.
I think that's a very good input there, and a lot of people also want to create, especially the MSMEs, the business owners, right? They want to create more business, they want to generate more profits, but one of the biggest challenges is the lead generation, the quality lead generation. So, how do
Right.
people generate quality leads through content? Like, what kind of content can help them, and how that can help them in terms of creating more business and profits?
Okay. So while I have been talking about creation of content and promoting it on social, uh, what a lot of organizations, I think, still are not aware also about is something called as social listening. They are doing social promotion, they are doing social media marketing, but social listening is something wherein you are there on, say, LinkedIn, you are there on Twitter, you have your profiles created, you have all the content ready, but nobody is coming to you. So what you need to do is you need to start searching for questions such as, who is really looking for services that I am providing. So it is again getting related to the specific audience of my services, right? So okay, so I have identified a set of people or organizations who might be looking at my services, but are they actually looking for it, or they already have something similar already? So which means that you will need to expand your scope of search, and you would have to have somebody in your social marketing team uh, that is kind of an ears for you, ears and eyes, that hey, that particular organization is looking out for a similar services. So then when you have identified such organizations who are looking for it, the next step would be to identify the kind of website that they are actually visiting. Okay, the kind of content that they are consuming, the kind of people that they are following, the thought leaders that they are following. Then you'll have to move to the next level of the content that is being created by those thought leaders and create similar content. Once you reach that level, your leads will start to come in eventually. But again, as I said earlier, like thinking that, hey, I wrote 5 blogs in 2 months and I should start getting some leads, that won't work. You
Right.
have to write blogs continuously and use the right keywords, use the right kind of language based on your language, your audience that has been identified. And then you have to add on to that whole masala of your digital marketing team to run the leads and campaigns on Facebooks and LinkedIn's of the world. Once they have linked those campaigns to the right audience, your leads will come. So yes, saying that content alone will create leads for you, that might be still a bit, too much of an ask. But yes, the right content created and the right dissemination on social platforms and in the, the digital marketing campaigns, that definitely will, lead to leads.
Great. I think you covered it very well, right? You also spoke about customer persona, you spoke about the content, you spoke about leads, right? But especially since you are helping MSMEs, right? There are so many social media platforms today, right? And people
Right.
get confused. Hey, which one should I use? Which one can help
Mhm.
me? So, how do people
Mhm.
identify which one is the right platform? Because there are so many platforms out there today.
Uh, I actually prefer that it should be a blanket thing. See, when
Hmm.
you create one piece of content, I mean, if you have a profile on all the platforms, when I say all the platforms, let me just list out the top five that I like. It is like LinkedIn, it is Twitter, it is YouTube, it is Instagram, and it is Facebook.
Right.
So if you create one banner, and all these platforms have some differences in sizes of banners at the most, you go ahead and publish it all on the banners, all the platforms. One content reuse on all the platforms,
Hmm.
because the audience on all the platforms will be different in, some way or the other.
Right.
So you never know which audience will connect on which platform. So
Yes.
yeah, the and in fact, if you look at it, videos are being used on all the platforms. Okay, on Twitter maybe not. Twitter would still need the link to the video, but whether it is YouTube, whether it is Insta, whether it is Facebook, whether it is LinkedIn, all of them have, the video content that is being generated and being consumed by all classes. uh, One thing that I would like to add on very specifically here is, Fatah, that you have to identify if your target audience is in, say, the US, is in the UK, or is it in, the APAC or India region. Why it is important is that, let us say you created the same content, but then if you want to promote it to the US audience, if you publish that content at 12 noon, nobody is in the US is going to see it.
Right.
Your content will go, it will fail. But if you schedule your content that you have created, if you want to hit the US target audience, you have to schedule it to, say, 5:30 a.m. in the morning, or 7:30 to 8 p.m. in the evening IST time. Then
Right.
it will have a much greater possibility to hit the US audience. If you want
Yeah.
to hit the Indian audience, you have to target, say, sometime like, say, maybe 8 a.m. or lunchtime, or some evening dinner time, when people are a bit free and they scroll the social platforms. You'll have a
Right.
greater visibility then. If you are targeting the UK and ANZ region, then again, like, the afternoon slot around 2:30 to 3 4 p.m. works well in those areas. So it is not just the creation of content, but when you are promoting it on which platform, that is what is important. In fact, every platform that I just mentioned has a different day also. Some
Hmm.
platforms Wednesdays works better, some platforms Thursdays works better. So it is all very complicated science, which can become easy if if you spend some time on it. And spending time on it is definitely required, because otherwise you can't grow.
That's
Simply
right.
put.
Yeah. And I think whatever you simplified in the way, I think beautiful tips you gave about based on the region as well. Like if even if you're creating content when you are creating randomly, but you can still schedule it as per the time zone and as per the country and the region so that people can watch it. Otherwise, your content is dead if your content is created at wrong times and published at the wrong times. Right. So
Yep.
this is about the content, but when we talk about any businesses, right, today it is all about a lot about branding. Today it's a lot about personal brands, right? So how do people build a brand? Like, can social media, can content still help them in terms of building a brand?
Okay. So the way I look at it is that a brand is something the main characteristics of a brand, if I look at it, is that it is consistent, it is visible, right?
Mhm.
It stands for some purpose, or adds some value in life
Right.
to whoever is consuming it. It has standard, say, colors that it uses in its social, all the promotions. Uh, it is there for everybody to consume, because I mean, we all know about all these big brands. Like, for example, if I just use Nike, it is there, right? Right now, there's this whole interesting brand war, or interesting competition going on for Zomato, and I think I forgot the other name. But then a lot of brands have joined it. So it is like things like दूध मांगोगे दूध देंगे, खीर
Right.
मांगोगे खीर देंगे, and all that is going on. What is that? It is just promoting your brand, right, at the right time. So it is,
Hmm.
again, so there is this whole concept of moment marketing, right?
Hmm.
So if everybody is talking about one thing, if you just pick on the right hashtag and throw your game in that also, you will end up getting some more visibility. But now, that said, if I am creating content on a regular basis, right, and if I am putting it up on social media, if I choose to stick to, say, maybe two or three or four max colors that I'll use it, in every banner that I create, a background that I use in every banner that I create, or let us say, the fantastic logo that you have, for yourself, you know just keep throwing that particular logo, that particular icon, and whatever kind of content you are creating, being consistent, doing it daily, all that will eventually lead to creation of brand. Who is this guy? What is this guy talking about? He's there every day, every platform. So people will start to get curious, and then your brand will definitely get created. Unless we are regular, it will not work out. So maybe, that was something that we have been practicing at my organization Signity also. We have been publishing two blogs a week for the last, since I joined, like, in 2015 March. Every Monday evening, every Thursday evening at around 6:37 p.m., a blog will be published, no matter what happens. Unless, of
Wow.
course, there is, some emergency or some leave. We have been consistently creating that content, right? So all our subscribers to that particular blog, they know that, okay, it's Monday evening. So then they'll start to wait. Once you
Right.
become consistent, that okay, 5:30 बजे इस बंदे का कंटेंट आएगा ही आएगा. So that creates that whole curiosity, and your visibility increases when people start to wait for your content. So that is a result, that is a possibility only when you are consistent. And
Right.
what it will lead to is that in the last, as I said, like, almost 8 years now, it will lead to a creation of a kitty of 900 plus blogs. It will lead to a kitty of, say, 50 white papers or 100 case studies. If you don't do it, this amount will not increase. Then the number of assets that you can use and reuse according to your need and according to the clients that you have to target, for that you need to just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. So as we have been hearing, like, take massive action. If you don't
Right.
do that, so taking massive action, okay, today I'm in a mood, I'll go and I'll give three keynote speeches and attend two sessions. I'm in that mood today. Fine. Then after 3 months, for the next 3 months, I'm not doing anything. No, it will fail. You might use and reuse this content for the next 3 months, but you need to do more. One day is
Right.
not enough. So
Yeah. I think you help people to understand like brand, and also understand, hey, brand is built over a period of time. It is because of the
Exactly.
consistency, it is because of the value you add. Of course, aesthetics are there, your logos are there, your colors, your patterns, and everything. But it is all about the value you add, who you be known for, like
Correct.
recall value, and all of these are very important. And so this
True.
is something really good and helpful for a lot of people, Amit. And Amit, I know that you have been working on something called as Sone ki Chidiya ko jagao, right? One of the initiatives. What is it about, and how you are actually contributing as a content marketing strategist, and what are the things that are happening here when you talk about this mission of yours?
Okay. So, Sone ki Chidiya ko jagao is actually, it is a concept that is not my own. It is a
Mm-hmm.
friend's initiative, Anshav Jain, and he and I have been connected for the last 3-4 years now. We have known each other. He's very passionate about helping the students and the MSMEs like myself. So that is where our connect has happened. And so the Sone ki Chidiya ko jagao concept, if you just think of the name, it is like India was called as Sone ki Chidiya, right?
Right.
And then since, if I can say, like 750 years back, when the Mahmud of Ghazni and the the Britishers and so many people kept on ruling over us. They destroyed our culture. They destroyed our the entire knowledge. I mean, if you look at a lot of these historical discoveries that are being made now, all are you know hinting that Indian culture was like a huge thing to be in awe of by the world.
Right.
And they came, they looted, and they destroyed the whole thing. And we are still like, we are still talking in English, Fatah. We should have been talking in Hindi, maybe, right? So that is the whole thing that has been done. So now, what Anshav, myself, and a lot of other founders and the leaders are doing is, we are trying to reach out to these MSMEs, to these students, and inculcate and create an environment where they can think out of the box, where they can do bigger things that will eventually lead to things like, we have a underlying mission of mission unemployment, mission zero unemployment.
Unemployment.
So yeah, so when we help these students think beyond what is currently being taught in the schools, about incubations, about entrepreneurship. So all that will eventually lead to India becoming a huge success story, which we are already reaching there. So we are just trying to awaken the golden bird. So as part of that, we also have launched a book called Sone ki Chidiya ko Jagao, that is available on
Mm-hmm.
Amazon and all. And
Great.
that book is, so that is the first volume. Second volume is already in place, that is being written. We are coming up with a magazine. I was privileged enough to write the song for the whole Sone ki Chidiya ko Jagao initiative. So that has
Wow.
been taken, appreciated. That book that I'm talking about is like, it has like 21 articles by 21 authors across the globe. And it talks about education, entrepreneurship, employment, and a lot of other things. And the second version will talk about more about other areas as well. So
Right.
all of this, so and all of the revenues that are being generated from these books, that is it is being directed towards NGOs, for NGOs like Vardhan for You and all, where
That's
we are.
beautiful. Mm.
Yeah. So and they will be used for the main initiatives of like unemployment and inclusivity, and people with special abilities, creating employment opportunities for them, and creating a better vision and world for them. So yeah, all that.
That's a beautiful initiative. I love that. Whatever you are doing, I think it's creating a lot of impact, and it is definitely growing big through the work you are doing. Plus, also, you have written this book specifically for MSMEs, right? What
Yeah.
does this book
Yeah.
cover, And when do you plan to like launch this book so that people can pick this book and then help themselves?
So, I mean, I honestly I got delayed. I wanted to launch it in November last year itself, but yeah, things happened. So I hope to launch it, in February, and let's see what happens. So what the book basically covers is, you know, uh, when we think of getting rich, how to get rich faster. Everybody wants to get rich and get rich faster. It is not just about, you know. Money that people should think about. There are multiple things, that if we do on a regular basis, small things that if we do, and in all those small things, I mean, definitely you are also aware of it. You know, gratefulness. Having gratitude in our heart and thanking God for whatever we have, and thanking
Mhm.
everybody for whatever we are getting in this life. That will eventually lead you towards what you want to achieve. So the book covers. So it is basically kind of my own story, but I have
Mhm.
tried to link it to the multiple aspects of the growth of a person, and how an MSMEs, how the MSMEs, if they try to inculcate bits of it, they will eventually end up you know getting the millions. So
Definitely. I'm sure they will be able to get benefit from here. Right. And looking forward to your book and best wishes for your book as well. And it was an amazing time we spent together. Thank you for adding so much of value coming through your immense experience and knowledge. So thank you for
thank
being
you,
here and adding value, Amit.
thank you for that.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for watching us. And I'm sure when you are trying to build your dream career in terms of content marketing, this episode is going to help you. And of course, you can connect with Amit. He's available on Instagram and different social media channels like LinkedIn, Facebook. And also be ready to pick up that book, MSMEs, that has been written by Amit Kapoor. You can find that book on Amazon in February. Right. Until then, stay connected with him, continue to follow him, because that is going to help you in terms of building your dream career in the content marketing field. So thank you, Amit, once again, and thanks everyone.
Thanks a lot.